fellow cyborgs, and welcome to Wonderweek, where I wonder if this necklace has been making sounds for you this entire time. Is it annoying yet? Just kidding. Wonderweek is a series of videos I'm doing this week about books that are Alice in Wonderland themed somehow, some way. Today is day 3, and I am going to be talking about Robert Douglas Fairhurst's story of Alice, Lewis Carroll, and the secret history of Wonderland. But before I begin with this, book haiku. Dear Mr. Dodgson, your love for little girls can be a bit dodgy. Before I get into the actual book stuff, let me just talk to you about this book because it is very nice, put together very nice. And let me show you the naked hardcover. So we've got some nice butter yellow end pages here, but I really love this. This color scheme and texture scheme, this is kind of like canvas, and this is a textured mustard yellow sort of cardboard, but this color scheme reminds me of Victorian explorer outfits, so think like Jane from Tarzan, the Disney animated film. And it's also got silver, what's that called? Text on the spine. So I really enjoyed reading this because the naked hardcover was pretty, and I never read my hardcovers with the dust jacket on them, so it was nice to have something nice to look at. So as you may have seen in my winter reading wrap-up, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, so I did really enjoy this book. My father picked it for me for Christmas. I'm seriously glad that he did because I enjoyed it a lot. This is first and foremost a biography of Lewis Carroll, aka Reverend Charles Dodgson. If you are looking for a book about the history of Alice in Wonderland, the book, this is not the place for you to start because it takes a long time, maybe like 150 to 200 pages to get to Alice's adventures in Wonderland. If you are looking for a book that explores Alice Hargreaves, aka or formerly Alice Little, the inspiration for Alice in the story, this is not the book for you either. Though this starts off with a story about Alice Hargreaves, this first and foremost is about Lewis Carroll. This covers Lewis Carroll's life before he was Lewis Carroll, when he was like from birth to his death. This covers it. What he was like in his family home, what he was like at school, what he was like in his early adulthood, his semi-obsession with photography when that happened, a little bit about how he wrote Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, then a little bit about how the book sold, different editions, how it changed in the years after, then how his life evolved after Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was so popular and, he wasn't really writing any more big hits. Controversies, scandals, all sorts of things are in here, but it's about Lewis Carroll. So if that interests you, pick this up. This is a great place to start for a biography of Lewis Carroll. But if you, like me, wanted to know more about the history of the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, you get a bit of that, but you get a lot more Lewis Carroll in here. So one of my big complaints about this is that it's divided into 4 parts, but they're very loose divisions. And the middle part, which is the bulk of this, is like 300 pages, and the chapters have no headings. So I, for a long time while reading this book, throughout the entire book, started a chapter and it would just keep going and wander, and I had to sit there hoping that somehow I would find out the point of this chapter, what he was telling me this for, what the biographer was telling me this for. I really wish that this had headings like prostitution in Victorian times, Charles Dodgson discovers photography, Alice Hargreaves and her early married life. That would have made the reading experience a lot more seamless because I wouldn't have been second guessing of whether or not I needed to know what I was reading. Until I got to the epilogue, I was thinking, it's like 3 stars. However, the epilogue was wonderful. It was the author talking to you about what it means to write a biography and how much you're fighting against lack of fact, misconstrued fact, no evidence, family members wanting to paint you in a better light. And so he really shed light on the fact of how little he had to go on given when he was born, which was 1832, I think, was when Lewis Carroll was born. So this is a long time for evidence to have survived, right? I mean, I know he's really famous now and he was famous in his day, but that's a long time for evidence to survive. He also talked a bit about what story people want to read. Do they want to read the actual real life, which is full of mundaneness, full of mistakes, or do they want the embellished, sparkly story and the scandal and everything like that, and how he had to find a balance between those sorts of things, and how as a reader, you have to figure out what you put value in. I ended up giving this 4 stars because that epilogue really made me rethink about the entirety of this work and how much effort that, Douglas Fairhurst put into this, and how much love he must have for history and the history of Lewis Carroll to have put in all that work and created this work. So if you are looking for a detailed biography about Lewis Carroll that tells you a bit about Alice Little and a bit about Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, this is certainly the book for you. I hope you enjoyed that a bit more in-depth review. Thank you for watching. I hope you will join me tomorrow for another installment of Wonderweek, and until next time, continue to be lovely.